world will never be the same once you see it through the eyes of Fairway Frank.
Frank will sell London broils, New York strip steaks, pork chops, pork steaks.
Frank's mama always said, life is like a T-bone steak. When you shop at Fairway, you know exactly what you're gonna get.
When you're Iowa's dealer for life, you do things different. And as your dealer for life, we've driven together for over 45 years.
Carl Chevrolet, we're proud of where we're from.
We created a premium car buying experience easy for anyone. We serve more Iowans than ever with more locations and more brands. So together, let's drive from your first car to your last car, making memories along the way. We'll always be your dealer for life.
Hey guys, it's Chris Williams here with Cyclone Fanatic telling you about one of my favorite companies that I've worked with, and I hire them all the time. Country Landscapes, they're located up in Ames, but they have offices in eastern Iowa as well, over in North Liberty, got one up in Clear Lake. I've hired Country Landscapes to do all the landscaping in my front yard, but I've also hired them to come over and give me advice on planting trees in my front and backyard. Stuff I don't really know about, but boy, the folks at Country Landscapes are experts in this field. They also have a skilled stone mason division that creates outdoor living and cooking spaces. It's something I need to look into. Check them out. Country Landscapes. You want that dream fire pit in your backyard? That's an idea for this spring. Country Landscapes supporting our March Madness coverage of the Cyclones here on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
All right, what's up, guys? It is Tuesday night in Kansas City, and Iowa State is about to play for a second straight Big 12 championship. I'm Connor Ferguson here for the Cyclone Fanatic pregame show. Chris is going to hit the postgame show for you guys where we do interviews and postgame coverage down here in KC, but have to say it would not be possible without our great sponsors. Obviously, our women's basketball title sponsor, Caliber Iowa. Big shout out to them allowing us to be down here, and the only true company that's going to be at Big 12s for wrestling, Big 12s for women's basketball, and the NCAA tournaments for both those sports as well. So really cool to be a small part of that and be able to do what we do here, and I really appreciate them. Aside from that, got one ad read to do here, but to Central States Roofing, Cyclone Fanatic would like to welcome a new partner to our family of advertisers, Central States Roofing, which is based out of Ames. Central States Roofing is a proud family-owned company dating back to 1968. It's owned and operated by lifelong Cyclone fans and Iowa State supporters. My favorite thing about Central States Roofing, 100% of their employees are local. They do not subcontract any of their work. They handle commercial projects within a 75-mile radius of Ames, Des Moines, and Fort Dodge. Cyclone Fanatic thanks them for sponsoring our coverage of the Cyclones this March. Learn more about this great Cyclone-owned company at csroofing.com. Hope the background noise isn't too much for you guys. They're setting up the stage for whatever the post-game show setup differs from what Brett Yormark had for him to speak. Man, that was a press conference. Yormark confirms, and probably the biggest thing out of it was that the Big 12 men's and women's tournaments will stay in Kansas City through 2031. So I know Iowa State fans were concerned about that. I know Utah fans were pulling really hard for Las Vegas, but all they got was Big 12 media days down there. They're going to keep it up here in Kansas City for men's and women's basketball. Also, women's soccer is moving to that purpose-built stadium right by that bridge. That's where they'll have that for the next 2 seasons as well. But yeah, keeping the tournament here really good. I know Iowa State fans still would like to see it set up where the men's and women's are on the same weekend. Obviously, logistics of that and all that go really tough to do in a 16-team conference. But obviously, I think we'd all like to see it. That title belt will look great on Adi after she takes it to Texas tonight. That's a great comment, Heath. I can envision that happening as well. Not that I'm making a prediction here. You guys feel free to put your comments in and ask questions of what you're thinking about going into this game. Iowa State and Texas meeting off for the second straight year in the Big 12 title. And Iowa State trying to give them a send-off from the Big 12 conference, obviously. You guys know, first things first, Texas is going to be physical. They always are in this tournament. They have been the last 3 years. I think Iowa State's played them. It's either that or just the last two, but they're a very physical squad. That's what they're doing under Vic Schaefer. They're going to get into you. They're going to frustrate you. You have to play disciplined basketball, and that can make a game really ugly sometimes. You can get out of your realm, as we've seen Iowa State do. We saw them do it in Austin this year. The last year's team took that challenge against Texas, stayed calm, stayed within their bounds, and ended up coming out with a win. I think keeping that calmity in that poise for Iowa State is going to go a long ways. And I think they have a lot of the young players that are growing up and figuring out how to do that. I think they've carried themselves and each other really well across this weekend of the Big 12 tournament. And I think Iowa State's got a different team as far as the last 6 games go, as they do or as they did before, obviously, when they played Texas. A little bit background on Texas. They're 11-1 in their last 12. Only loss was by 1 point, Red River rivalry game. Haven't lost since the start of February, aside from that Oklahoma loss. Madison Booker, obviously, she's 12 player of the year as a freshman. So really talented piece that they have in her. In as Randy says, yeah, they're super athletic. They've held 20 teams to under 40% shooting. Iowa State was over 50 in that Oklahoma game. So if any of that carries over, that'd be great for an Iowa State fan to hear. I'm really interested to just see where Iowa State will go in how they'll attack Texas's defense. Obviously, Baylor, it got to them with that press. Oklahoma never pressed them. To an extent during that game. There was never a real hard press laid on Iowa State by Oklahoma. I think if Texas is going to attack Iowa State in any way on defense, they're going to throw one at them at some point. Is that sustainable the whole game when you don't have a fully healthy team? I don't know if it is or not, but I think that's a big area where Iowa State needs to improve and probably, frankly, is out of time to improve. So you just hope that you can get around it a little bit. And then on the other side, you got to be hitting your shots to be able to keep breaking that and keep the momentum going your way and keep the defense kind of spread out and all that. So I'm really excited for this one. I think it's a championship game. Anything can happen. I think teams play differently as games get bigger. There's more pressure, stuff like that. I think this game being, if it was in the regular season, the last week of the year, you trade it with the Cincinnati spot, who knows how different it is. But what I do know is Audie Crooks has become a different type of player. She's a really dominant post. The physicality is going to be really big there. If you're near the arena or on a TV trying to watch a battle, watch Audie Crooks in what she does in the post tonight. I guarantee if Texas starts out getting physical, it will go back through Audie. She was taking it to a couple of Oklahoma players yesterday. Emily Ryan and Addie Brown obviously have been mainstays of ball movement and getting assists and getting the ball around to Iowa State's talent. Usually to Audie Crooks. We have to watch out, pass and catch. Yeah. It's those big moments, where the pressure intensifies and everyone's got to stay pretty calm. And Addie and Emily are the two, poised examples of that. Those are the girls that are moving the ball around, getting it to people. Ariana Jackson has been another player just like that. I know I saw her telling Jalen Brister to calm down during the last game, and I thought that was cool. This team's really close. They have a lot of leaders everywhere. It's not just you got to be old to tell people what to do. They're kind of all on the same level. I think that's a great key to success for a team like this. So with that being said, last thing I had here. I'm good. I'm glad I didn't forget this. Iowa State during this 6-game stretch has had all of its role players really step up. Nelly Nadabu she scored the 6th and 8th points of the game yesterday. She finished with 6 total. Her first bucket she had to box out the crap out of the Texas or out of the Oklahoma post down there, gets the rebound, finishes, but she was so far away from that ball before she went and got it. She made a tremendous play to get over there and get those points for Iowa State, and it was part of what started the 16-2 run. Aside from her, you have Hannah Bellinger, who's shooting at a higher clip than she has all season. She almost had a career high, I think, a week ago. If you can get something out of her tonight, that goes a long way. Jalen Bristow, same thing. Every single one of Iowa State's role players have really taken a step, especially during this little 6-game win streak they've got going. That's going to be integral to winning this game tonight. If you can get 5 out of Naidu, if you can get 6 out of Nadabu, if you can get 5 out of Jalen Bristow, it goes a long ways. And not having Audie Crooks needed to get that 5 to win the game. So I'd look for role players, what they do, how they attack early, how both Iowa State's offense and Texas's defense, what happens there, and look for the physicality. And if the physicality comes, it's going to be a weird game. It could get, I don't say it could get ugly. And take my prediction from yesterday. I said I'd be shocked if either team won by more than 10 points. And Iowa State basically won by 28 if we don't count the garbage time at the end, right? So I could be completely wrong. I'm excited for this game to finally get freaking started. Been here since 5 o'clock, so hope you guys enjoyed following along. Thank you to all of our great sponsors for the women's basketball postseason coverage and March Madness altogether. It's truly one of the best times of the year, one of my favorite times of the season and all that. And I couldn't be on here and do it without you guys. Thank you for reading and following along and doing all that stuff. So if you're tuning in the game, 8 o'clock on ESPN2, just a reminder. And we'll have coverage all night long, all over wherever you get your Cyclone Fanatic content. We'll have it there. So appreciate you guys. Thanks again. And we will see you after the game.